That Build podcast. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lily Carr.
Our episodes are brought to you by Rose Hill Library, and today's guest is Mr. Lambert. Before we have him join us, make sure you follow Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. If you've missed any episodes, you can find the Rocket Productions Network anywhere you listen to podcasts. So how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you two doing?
We're doing
good.
Yeah, I'm great, actually. Like I said, ready for the weekend.
Oh, it's time,
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving?
Actually staying home, and the fact that we get a week this time.
Yeah,
No.
it's going to be nice.
I know, and when I come back, I'm already going to be looking forward to Christmas break.
I
So.
know.
Yeah.
3 weeks, right?
3
Is that right?
weeks, yes.
Yeah.
So the bond got passed.
Yeah.
How long? Well, a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
Oh, it's pretty awesome, actually.
Pretty awesome.
Very excited for the students, the family, the town. It went really well. I was really happy with the voter turnout. That was so important to us. Like the first time that we had it, 2 years ago when it failed, and I know it wasn't during a general election then, but 1,100 total people voted,
Yeah.
and there was like 400 yeses then. Well, this time pushing 5,000 people voted,
Wow.
and we were pushing 2,900 yeses.
That's
So
a lot.
that's exciting. So
Yeah.
to me, that tells me that the kids did a good job, the teachers, everybody getting it out there
Yeah.
about our needs, and I'm excited now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was great advertisement for it.
That was a fun part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There was some good podcasts out there about that. There was.
Yeah, I definitely think there was.
So out of everything that the bond has to offer, what's one thing you're like really excited to get started?
That's kind of an interesting thing because, we kind of live in this instant world where we want it right now.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fun thing that we can do right now, and it's not the priority, but it's the priority right now, and that's the turf outside. That's with the PE, band, soccer field, football, and then also the softball field. So those are things that we can actually get started. And that was one of the things when I came around and talked to the seniors about is one of our goals was if this passed that maybe there's a chance they could be done by April 1st.
Yeah.
And then if you're on the soccer team or softball team, maybe you get a play on it before you graduate.
Which would be awesome.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Have you been in communication with like the architect or like what does that look like on
Oh,
your
yeah.
part trying to like plan this and
Yeah.
get started?
The fun part with this one is who we're probably going with, their name is ATG, and they specialize in this. And I've been talking to them going on about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then they put together the designs, and in fact, the board is going to decide tonight if they should take their offer or not. And it's a great design where basically on the east side of the school, just kind of off where the band room and that is, will be the soccer field. It's going to run north and south. And then right next to it, so if you look off the corner of the gym, so like if you're in the directions, it'd be like the northeast corner. That's about right where the softball field will start. If you're like, well, I'm not in the directions. It's right before where the lights are on the practice field. It'll be on this side of that.
Okay.
And it's all going to be turnkey, which means it's going to be ready to go. And it's going to have everything, and it's pretty exciting.
What went into finding all the people to build and
Yeah.
Make
What's
it.
going to be interesting on part of the rest of the building, so we'll have an architect, and then we'll also have what's called a construction manager at risk. What that means is they're in charge of day-to-day operations, and then it's also their goal, or their job is, there's something called a guaranteed maximum price. So they're going to tell us for what we want, what the ultimate final price will be, and then they have to live under it. Okay, for this part, what we're doing different is we're not using that architect, or are we using the CMR? ATG does their own, so like on Tuesday, they were actually out there surveying already, and then they did all the design, so they're doing it all themselves, they do all the dirt work. What'll be the most shocking thing to people is how much dirt work's gonna happen out there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be seeing big equipment out there soon, most likely December, worst case scenario, early January.
And you showed us the layout beforehand, and unfortunately we can't show it here, but I really do like how close it is to the baseball
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, and then our goal, what we want to do, is we want to add a concession stand and bathrooms.
Okay.
So I'm sure everybody's already thinking we need that.
Yeah.
And that's going to draw so many crowds
Yeah.
to different sports, which I love. And other than kind of directing it, or I mean, you kind of came up with the ideas, but like, how are you going to be involved once the construction
Right.
starts?
I'm actually I get too involved. So
You get
yes, I do. And one of my goals this time is I try to come across as a nice guy.
Yeah.
It seems like whenever I have a construction project, I turn into like, is it Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
Yeah.
I turn into one of those, and I become somebody I don't like. So that's the goal this time. This will be my third time. I'm going to try not to become that person.
Yeah,
So,
just let it happen.
yes, but believe me, I want it so bad by April 1st
Oh,
that
yeah,
it's,
absolutely.
I'll be pushing it hard, and it's going to take
Yeah.
somebody pushing it for it to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with Mr. Lambert after this commercial.
Bentley Roofing and Home Repair is a locally owned and operated contracting company in Wichita, Kansas. They are licensed and insured with over 10 years of experience. Bentley Roofing is unequaled in commitment to quality and customer satisfaction. They pride themselves on making sure you feel safe and have long-term protection for you and your family. To contact Bentley Roofing, you can call them at 316-214-8854, or you can visit them at their website at brllc.org.
The Rose Hill Library started out as a community library at the school. The hours are 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and they're closed on Fridays and Sundays. They have nearly 10,000 items to check out, and all you need is a library card. They also have story time on Mondays at 10 a.m., and during the summer, they host summer reading programs. The library can also fax and scan documents to a flash drive and make copies for you. You can contact them at 316-776-3013.
We're back with Mr. Lambert on the Athel podcast. So, obviously, I don't know, did you help with the creation of the designs?
I can't take any credit for
can't
that.
take-
I did tell them where I thought we wanted it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that was always taught from the beginning was, do we work with the city and just fix up the one at Shorty Cox? Or do we do our own thing? And so that was been our goal, to do it here so we could have a little more control and then be ours. And then we can also then use it for PE, band. And that's what I'm so excited. It's going to be a real multi-use field.
Yeah.
And it'll have lights. The soccer field will have lights, so will the softball field. And it'll actually be set up that if the soccer coaches chose that they wanted to play some of their games there, they could.
Yeah. Do you know how long it went for the architect to like draw it up?
Yeah. From when I actually asked them on what I wanted, and that, it took about a month.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the designs look great.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look good.
I definitely think people are excited for them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fun to get to see it all and see you guys out there soon would
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
pretty excited to me.
So are those like the first things getting started out of everything?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And then the next priorities will be, this summer, we really want to hit the high school hard because we're going to do a lot of renovation with the hallways and that. Ideally, when you guys come back, you don't know the place. But I don't know if we'll get that far, but that's our goal. And then this summer, the auditorium's a huge goal for us. So we'd really like to have the auditorium ready for next year when you guys come through. We'd like to have a lot of the hallways, classrooms, and ideally, even if we could get the fax room, that'll be one of our goals, to get it
yeah.
more culinary art type ready to go.
What about the storm shelters and that kind of stuff? Where do those fall?
Yeah. So on our storm shelter part, so basically we're doing 3 across the campus. So 1 in each building. This one here is going to have the weight room and wrestling room. We're going to talk about priorities, but I would really like to see that be the first storm shelter we start on.
Yeah.
Just ideally, because maybe then we can get some use out of it during the next school year.
Yeah. And because if we have it done like before wrestling season, then the wrestlers can use it.
Yeah,
And
and
Yeah.
I was-
PE and weights.
yeah, and everybody.
Yeah, so we're hopeful.
Absolutely. And when, I guess you kind of said, but is there like a set date yet for when all the prepping's going to start with like the machines and everything?
Yeah. As far as the turf and that dirt work outside, I think you'll see equipment out there in December. As far as the rest of the project, what happens now is the architects are going to spend probably about 5 months doing the drawings, where they put it, and then they were here yesterday talking to the admin. Then they'll come back and they'll interview the teachers to get specifics. So like, that's one of the most important things, is for your architect to listen to what people want. So it's as simple things as like, okay, where are we putting our outlets? Because when it's said and done, that becomes a huge deal. And one of the other things that we're really focused on for the high school is, I want it to be somewhere where, like, when you guys walk in, you go, wow, I'm glad I go to school
Yeah.
here. Just
Yeah.
on that, based on that alone. And then the next step is, well, I love it here too because of the teachers and everything else and the kids, my friends. But I want the first thing to be, wow, when you come in and you
Yeah.
don't,
It's
yeah.
all different.
yeah, and you feel at home.
Yeah. Are you guys going to be clearing more space in the back? Do you know that yet, like with all the trees and everything?
It doesn't seem like we're going to have to take much out for trees in that area. All I've seen on space that'll be interesting is right now, and it could change, basically right off the music room is where the weight room and wrestling room is scheduled to go. There's a shed there that's storage.
There's a
It's
shed.
going to be tight. So we're going to have to see where that goes, but that kind of looks like the only type of demolition that could happen. And we'll just move it somewhere else for storage.
Got it.
Okay, I feel like, are they working on the inside of classrooms, like, or is it like the hallways?
Oh, yeah, that's an awesome question. Our plan is to do the inside of the classrooms too, paint, carpet, that. We're going to hit as many rooms as we can, and so you can kind of get that look. And then the hallways will have that look.
So it's like everywhere. It's just
Everywhere.
That's the goal.
everywhere should be like you're seeing something
And,
new.
and this is kind of the running joke, but
Yeah.
I just can't handle this. Institutional white, that color,
Oh, that
drives me
white.
crazy. And I know some people just love it.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. So
can't handle the
it
colors.
colors
You need the
coming. I'm
colors,
telling
yeah.
you, it's coming.
Are we gonna, like, with the carpet and the tiles and all that stuff, are we gonna do, again, tile in the hallways
Yeah.
now, or just carpet?
Yeah, so what we're looking at doing is most likely where there's currently carpet, there'll be new carpet.
New carpet.
And then we're trying to figure out what to do on where there's tile. Do we go down to a polished concrete, or do we go back with kind of a luxury vinyl tile that kind of has a little bit of a fancier look? So that'll be one of the things that we take a close look at. And as far as long-term, the easiest thing to take care of is when you go down to that grinded polished concrete, but it doesn't quite have that wow look.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking for something a little bit different on that.
Okay. And you said that you worked with different construction companies in the past, right?
Mhm.
How has that been, and do you think that's gonna go well with this new
Yeah.
company?
I've had the pleasure of, like, I've done 2 elementaries, several gyms, those auditoriums, those kinds of things. And it's always interesting because we always kind of kid around in the school and the educational world. Sometimes we're not in the real world. Well, the real world's coming to us with construction because, they do it all the time. And that part's really fun to get to meet people and work with them and help accomplish the things that you want to. My first time the first project we ever did went really well. It went really good. The next time seemed like every day was a struggle, and that's where I became somebody I didn't want to be. This one is setting up with our architects and who I think our construction manager will be. So it'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually be fun. And one of the things I really want to do is, as it's going, we'll have hard hats available. We'll have tours. You guys want to do a tour? We want to try to do a live podcast.
Yeah.
A live podcast?
Yes.
That would be so
We
fun.
can jump all over that.
Yes.
Oh, no, I love all the ideas. Well, so I don't know, but this just seems very organized, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Honestly, yeah. But do you have any more questions, Lily?
I don't think so.
Great. Well, I'm all good. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and talking,
you.
Mr. Lambert.
Hey, you guys are awesome. It's fun as always.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching the At The Podcast. If you missed any episodes, you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you follow Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lily Carr.